Hey y'all, Maria Com again. I don't have a tagline yet. I am gonna work on that. It's on my to-do list. It's just not very high on my to-do list right now. Weekends are kind of often taken up by a lot of like household chores, yard work, that kind of stuff that I don't have the energy to do during the week. So that stuff and then like meal prep, and I'm trying to get better at doing like serious meal prep and not just like the most basic of stuff because I'm trying to eat a little better and be a little better about my health and stuff. My health is realistically pretty fine, but just a thing to think about. Yeah. Work was pretty stressful and annoying today. That's like an all the time thing, but it's just worse than I expected today. I knew it was gonna kind of suck, but I also was trying to do some like mindless stuff that would not be too mentally taxing, and then other mentally taxing things came up and such, so. And I barely made a dent on the stuff I was trying to do that was mindless and supposed to be, easy, so. I knew it would be time consuming, I just didn't expect it to be as time consuming as it is turning out to be, so. I ended up having to leave that barely started, and that kind of sucks, so. I don't like doing that. I don't like leaving something unfinished, but here we are. That is life. So, yeah. One of the like very frustrating things about life generally right now, I guess about life most of the time, is constantly feeling like I'm not doing the right stuff. And I mean, I don't necessarily mean that in terms of like, oh, I should be doing all of the things everyone else is doing and I should be living the same lives as everyone else. But, there are times where I'm like, at home after work, looking out the window just to like look at a world that is not just my little tiny house world and my little tiny just me and my cat world. And I'll see people doing stuff and I'll be like, huh, I wonder if I should be doing that thing. Or, oh, I really should be doing that thing. Like, oh, I really need to mow the lawn. Here's someone outside mowing the lawn. Should I be doing that right now? I mean, I can't do it if I don't have the energy or whatever, but it's just a thing that's like always in the back of my mind is, should I be doing this thing other people are doing right now? Is that the right thing to be doing? And that's like a kind of frustrating way to live cuz I should be doing what's right for me, right? I should be doing what works with my life. But there are times like being a homeowner and a first time homeowner who never talked to their parents about owning a home. I honestly never thought I was going to own a home because most people my age do not own a home, cannot afford a home, etc. um so it was never like a thing on my radar. And then it became a possibility and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to do that." But because I am a first time homeowner and I am not speaking to my parents at the moment, and I am not speaking to my brother at the moment. I just have my sister and brother in law, and they are also like relatively new homeowners. They've had their house longer than me, obviously, but it's just kind of a thing where we're all just sort of figuring it out as we go. And that's for me very scary because I like to be prepared for stuff and I feel like I'm not. So it's a whole thing, but as like a first time homeowner who doesn't really know what they're doing, I do have that thought a lot about like home improvement stuff and whatever. Now, for most of it, the big issue for me is that I do not have the skill and I do not have the money. So like I can't reshingle my own roof, for example, but I also can't afford to have someone else do it right now. Does it need to be done in the next few years? Yeah, probably. I need to try and save up for it, and that's hard, but I'm working on it. It would be easier if I knew how much I needed to save up, but by the time I have enough saved, it'll probably be more than what a quote right now would be, so that makes it hard. But yeah, I do that about like everything, and that kind of sucks. I mean, I think that's part of why I even got a house in the first place, because my older brother has a house and my younger sister has a house, and isn't that the thing I should be doing then? So then I did it. And there are times I regret it. I mean, I like having my own space and not having neighbors in the like apartment sense, but it's also stressful. So there's that. I shouldn't be complaining about accomplishing a goal that most people my age have not accomplished. But here I am complaining about it. I feel like a lot of the things I have accomplished in my life, other people think are big accomplishments, but I just don't see them that way. Like, my house is one of those things. I don't see that as a big accomplishment because it doesn't make me as happy as I hoped it would, I guess. It is more stressful to me than it is an achievement. So, like, it feels like the cons are outweighing the pros. Now, maybe later in life I'll change my mind about that. Like, if I ever decide to sell this house. I think that's part of it, is I did not want a quote-unquote starter house. I just wanted a forever house, but I couldn't afford that. I settled for something that is not really what I wanted. And I don't know if that was the right choice. So, yeah. So it's like most things in my life where I'm like, was that the right choice? I don't know. But anyway, I don't feel like getting a house was as big of an accomplishment as other people seem to think. I also, like, wonder, was that the right use of the money I had saved up, or should I have used it for something else? You know, like, that kind of stuff. So, it's a whole thing. I don't feel like getting a master's degree was as big of an accomplishment as some other people think, and that's largely because I'm not using my master's degree. If I would have stayed in academia, I would probably think of it as a better accomplishment than I currently do. But since I didn't stay in academia and I am not using my degree, it does not feel like an accomplishment. It feels like... I don't like saying it was a waste of time because I liked getting a master's degree. I liked the program I was in. I learned a lot. I feel like I was probably at my best during my master's program. But, like, now it feels like it was a waste of time because I'm not using any of that. And again, I don't think it really was a waste of time, but in a practical sense, it kind of was. Ugh. So it doesn't feel like an accomplishment because it's not something I ever look at anymore. It's not something I'm using. It doesn't impress anyone. It doesn't help me in the job market. I think it actually hurts me more than anything because I'm overqualified for a lot of things. I mean, realistically, I'm overqualified for the job I'm currently doing, but I got hired for that anyway. It doesn't feel good to be overqualified for the things I'm doing, but what are you gonna do? Maybe that's a personal problem. I don't feel like the things I have accomplished are actual accomplishments. I'm never satisfied with my own accomplishments. That probably is a personal problem. I don't know how to fix that. How do I make myself okay with, let alone proud of, my accomplishments? Huh. Things to ponder. And this has gotten long enough. It's not going to be as long once I edit, but it's gotten long enough, I think. I'm going to end on that note. I'm going to end on the note of, I'm realizing that I probably have an issue where I don't know how to be proud of my own accomplishments. Interesting. How do I figure that out? If someone knows how to teach yourself to be okay and proud of your own accomplishments, please let me know in the comments. I would actually really appreciate that insight. I don't know how to reward myself for things either. That's something I've known for a long time, but I don't know how to reward myself for the accomplishments I have made either, so... Things to think about. This has been my Ria Com. coming to some realizations about themselves. And I will chat at you again soon. Bye.